because what the U.S. is sort of removing from the global system is consumer demand, and China simply doesn't have that to offer. So what all of the U.S. trading partners are going to be looking for is a place to liquidate inventory that's going to pile up behind this, rapidly growing tariff wall President Trump is putting up. China's going to be looking to do the same thing. So I think the dynamic, unfortunately, is likely to be, non-U.S., Europe, Canada, Mexico, as much as they want to talk about working together, I foresee them actually having to put up guardrails against each other because, again, everybody's going to have the same problem, which is excess inventory that was designed to feed the U.S. market, which is no longer welcoming it to it.
So it's a zero-sum game, even though the optics are being, and the narrative that's being driven is different.
It's even worse than a zero-sum game because I think U.S. growth is going to slow quite sharply, right? So, the U.S. is going to end up being a loser in this. The president and his administration see it as short-term pain for long-term gain. I would question that from a fundamental economic standpoint, but that's neither here nor there. The disruption is going to cause, I think, a sharp slowdown in the U.S. economy in coming months. And that's just not a good environment for the rest of the world. In just a normal U.S. slowdown tends to be very bad for emerging markets. Commodity demand falls, tends to be globally deflationary, and it's just a rough environment everywhere. But again, in this scenario, you have this added problem where, just look at the auto industry, right? Nobody's going to want to take Chinese automobiles now because the Germans, the Europeans, Mexicans have their own problems. The Koreans, right? So they all have the same problem. And what is the solution? There is no solution because there's no other source of demand for those vehicles. The result is going to be a sharp deflation to a big spike in auto prices in the U.S. and a collapse outside of the U.S. And I think that's going to go for pretty much everything that we import if these reciprocal tariffs next week are as bad as I think they will be.